Hi guys, it's Jacob from Stringbuzz here, stringbuzzworld.org being a music journalism site, links are in the description down below. And we have a brand new song review for you today, and it's the latest by Aquilo, and that's Almost Over, part 3 in the Silhouette trilogy. So I'm going to refer to the original articles I usually do for these videos, so I hope you enjoy. So after listening to the last two parts of this Silhouette trilogy, I went into this track with very high expectations. I thought both the music videos and the accompaniment went together in pure matrimony, and it's so refreshing to see a narrative be kept as sternly as this. They work so well. This project is so exciting and so different to what I'm used to reviewing. Usually these sort of projects do hit a sour spike, like when Metallica kept doing that Unforgiven series, but I think this project is slightly more hopeful than that, since they're all coming out on the same album. Unforgiven was brought out over a stretch of about 20 years, and obviously they made worse material during that time. They went on a really bad downward spiral for a good 10 years or so, and that caused the quality of the Unforgiven series to get worse and worse, whereas this track, you know, is being released alongside the other two parts, so I'm hoping for good things. So shall we see what I thought of it? Well, I thought it was okay, but it was really underwhelming. Sure, it's much better than your average pop track, but I felt too much emphasis was put on style rather than substance this time around. The other two tracks developed and had great vocal melodies and memorable transitions, whereas this track just plodded a little, dragging from section to section and focusing way too much on the narrative in the music video rather than the actual music, which is meant to be the vocal point here. When listening to the track as an audio file, it also feels incomplete too, as there are big holes missing for decoration and variation. I think it's a bit of a shame, really. Production wise, the track is just as solid as their past few outings. It's vibrant, it's colourful, and it's just rich with texture and tonality. The producer has their sound down to a T, and it's great to see someone keeping pop music so organic and raw again. I don't think the strings were quite as pure and resonant as the past few efforts, or the last two efforts in this trilogy in particular, and that might be down to the musicality rather than the actual production. It might just be down to the progressions that I didn't take to them as well. Vocally, each track has sounded sublime so far, and this is no exception. The diction is spot on, the tones are pure, and I've just never found the vocals too tampered with, and I just think the vocals have been done well yet again here. Again, this is a big positive for such a young duo to have a production cycle that is this mature and methodical. I do kind of feel though that the musicality is the downfall of this track, just down to it being a little too plain and a little too wasteful of the opportunity they had here. It concentrates its movement and development around a sequence of progressions that aren't that catchy or anthemic to really begin with. I mean, they are okay and they are functional separately, but they aren't strong enough to really carry a track on this level. Along with that, the hook isn't particularly powerful or gutsy like their last few outings, and for a trilogy climax you need something that is going to build to a huge payoff or a lengthy climax. Either that or you go down a completely different route to surprise the listeners and hint at further projects in the future. Here I think they took a very safe option, and it backfired really, because I lost my investment in the whole overall story which they were telling from the start. Once you lose that investment in a track so narrative based, then you have to look at the other tracks disappointingly, and that's a shame I think as well. The shining light is though that the other tracks stand on their own as great singles, and singles I definitely recommend for you to listen to, but this just sounds like filler in an album for me. Lyrically, the song is weaker than the other two, yes, but it is performed fairly well. Even though I didn't take to the melodies too well, I still thought the singer showcased a degree of sophistication and control in his voice that often wavered in other parts, which has obviously shown that he's grown throughout this process. I guess as musicians they have developed through this experience, and I can only, that's all I can really ask for going into the future. I'm happy for that. I can only be happy for that. All in all, a bummer sure, but it's far from being a bad song. The positives have to be taken into account, and the potential of the duo is currently limitless. It's made my January infinitely more interesting listening to what they have produced, and I can only really thank them for that, and I can't wait to see what they do in the future. So I gave it a G rating of 5.5 out of 10, which is lower, about 3 points lower than the other reviews, but it's still a good song, it's still above average. So if you like this video, then please leave a like, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you around next time. Bye bye.